It begins with a rumor. At first, it sounds impossible. A strange story spreading across forums, private chats, and late-night conversations. People claim that two individuals in completely different parts of the world somehow woke up in each other's bodies. No explanation, no warning, just a switch. Most dismiss it immediately. Another internet myth, another story designed to shock. But then more reports appear. A woman in Berlin claims she went to sleep in her apartment and woke up in a hospital bed in Tokyo, inside a body that is not hers. She speaks a language she does not understand. Her reflection shows a stranger. At the same time, a man in Tokyo is found in her apartment, panicking, speaking German words he does not recognize. Authorities investigate. Doctors run tests. Everything matches. DNA, biometrics, records. The bodies are real, but the people inside them are not. Within days, the world realizes something has changed. People can swap bodies. No one knows how it works. No one controls it. At first, the switches seem random. Two people anywhere on Earth exchange consciousness. They keep their memories, their personality, their identity, but everything physical changes. Their face, their voice, their strength, their age, their health. Their entire physical existence becomes someone else's. The reaction is immediate. Shock, fear, disbelief, because this is not just a new ability. It is the destruction of identity as humans understand it. A person is no longer defined by their body, and that changes everything. At first, governments try to contain the situation. Cases are investigated. Individuals are isolated. Scientists attempt to understand the mechanism behind the swaps, but it becomes clear very quickly that this cannot be controlled. Switches happen randomly, across borders, across social classes, across genders, across ages. No one is immune. Anyone can wake up in a different body at any time. Within weeks, panic spreads. People are afraid to fall asleep, because sleep becomes a risk. You might wake up somewhere else, as someone else. Parents fear losing their children. Couples fear waking up separated. Individuals fear losing their own lives entirely. Because if you switch bodies, your old life does not follow you. Your home, your job, your identity in society, all of it stays with the body you left behind, and someone else might now be living in it. Meanwhile, the first major consequences begin appearing. Banks no longer trust identity. If a person can wake up in a different body, how do you prove who you are? Fingerprints are useless. Face recognition fails. Even DNA identifies the body, not the person inside. Legal systems begin collapsing because law depends on identity. Who signed a contract? Who committed a crime? Who owns property? If bodies can be swapped, those questions no longer have simple answers. A person could commit a crime in one body and wake up in another. Innocent people could be blamed for actions they never performed. The concept of responsibility begins breaking down. Meanwhile, something unexpected happens in society. At first, people try to hold on to their identity. They carry documents. They memorize personal details. They create verification systems. But as swaps continue, something deeper changes. People begin realizing that identity is no longer physical. It becomes internal, defined by memory, personality, and consciousness. Not appearance, not biology, not status. This creates a strange kind of freedom. For the first time in history, people experience life from completely different perspectives. A wealthy executive might wake up in the body of a factory worker. A young athlete might wake up in the body of an elderly person. A healthy individual might experience illness firsthand. A man might wake up in the body of a woman in the body of a man. Life becomes unpredictable, but also revealing, because people begin understanding things they never could before. What it feels like to live in a different body. a different social position, a different reality. Empathy begins growing in unexpected ways. But not everyone sees it as positive. Some see opportunity, because if bodies can be swapped, power can be taken. Criminal organizations begin studying the phenomenon. They track patterns. They attempt to predict swaps. They create systems to exploit confusion. If someone wealthy swaps into a weaker body, they become vulnerable. If someone powerful loses their original body, they lose their authority instantly. Kidnappings increase. Manipulation increases because identity is unstable, and instability creates risk. Meanwhile, relationships begin changing. Love becomes complicated. A person might wake up in a body their partner does not recognize. A parent might look at their child and see a stranger's face. Trust becomes fragile, because even if the person inside is the same, the body is not. Some relationships survive, others collapse, because for many people, identity was tied to physical presence. And now that connection is broken. At the same time, something philosophical begins emerging. If you can exist in any body, what are you? Are you your body? Or are you something else entirely? For centuries, humans believed identity was connected to the physical form. Now that belief is being tested, because the body can change, but the self remains. And as more people experience life through different bodies, a new understanding begins forming. The human experience is not fixed. It is fluid. And in a world where you can wake up as anyone, the question is no longer who you are. It is what remains when everything physical is taken away. Because when bodies can change, identity becomes something deeper, something that cannot be seen, something that cannot be touched, only experienced. And humanity is only beginning to understand what that means. At first, people try to hold on to control. They create systems, rules, protocols, anything that can restore stability in a world where identity no longer belongs to the body. Governments introduce new forms of identification, not based on fingerprints or faces, but on knowledge. Personal questions only the individual should know. Memory verification systems, psychological profiles designed to match a person's behavior rather than their appearance. But even those begin to fail, because memory can be shared, written down, taught, and behavior can be imitated. Within months, the world realizes something terrifying. There is no perfect way to prove who you are anymore. Identity becomes negotiable. Banks collapse into chaos first. Accounts are frozen. Access is restricted, because no one can confirm ownership with certainty. A person standing in front of a bank may have the correct memories, the correct information, the correct answers, but they are in the wrong body, and the system no longer knows what to trust. Meanwhile, legal systems face a deeper crisis. Courts can no longer assign responsibility clearly. A crime committed in one body may belong to a completely different person now. Punishing the body punishes the wrong individual. Punishing the mind becomes impossible, because the mind moves. Law begins breaking apart under the weight of uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, a new kind of power appears. Control over bodies. Because if identity is unstable, then the body becomes the most valuable asset. Not for who it is, but for what it can do. Strong bodies, healthy bodies, young bodies, influential bodies, they become targets. Criminal groups begin developing systems to take advantage of the swaps. When a wealthy or powerful individual switches into a weaker body, they are captured quickly, isolated, controlled, because now they are vulnerable. At the same time, someone else may be living in their original body, enjoying the power and access that comes with it. The idea of stealing a life becomes real, not by replacing someone, but by becoming them. And the more swaps occur, the more this system evolves. Some people begin chasing certain bodies: athletes, celebrities, leaders, because waking up in the right body can change everything. Your strength, your status, your opportunities. Life becomes a lottery, not of birth, but of consciousness. And slowly, society begins dividing into new groups, not based on wealth, not based on nationality, but based on stability. Some people rarely experience swaps. They remain in the same body for long periods. They become anchors. Others switch frequently. They become drifters, people who cannot hold onto a single life for more than a few days or weeks. These individuals struggle the most because they cannot build anything lasting. No career, no relationships, no identity tied to the physical world. They become invisible in a different way, not because they are unseen, but because they are never the same person twice. Meanwhile, relationships transform completely. Love becomes something fragile. A couple may wake up in different bodies, different cities, different lives. They may spend weeks searching for each other, trying to reconnect. Sometimes they succeed, sometimes they don't, because the world is too large and identity is too unstable. Families begin creating systems to stay connected. Code phrases, shared memories written down, messages left in specific places, instructions like, if you are me and you wake up somewhere else, go here. But even that is not enough, because someone else might find those messages. Someone else might pretend. Trust becomes the rarest thing in the world. At the same time, something unexpected begins happening. Empathy grows, because people experience life from perspectives they never could before. A wealthy person wakes up in poverty. A healthy person experiences illness. A person of one gender lives in another. A person from one culture wakes up inside another. Barriers begin dissolving, because difference is no longer theoretical. It is lived. Prejudice becomes harder to maintain, because you might become the person you once judged. And that changes how you think, how you speak, how you treat others. Humanity begins understanding itself in a deeper way. But that understanding comes with instability, because while empathy increases, certainty disappears. No one knows where they will be tomorrow, who they will be, what life they will wake up into, and this uncertainty changes behavior. Long-term planning becomes meaningless. Why build a career if you might lose your body tomorrow? Why invest in a future you may not experience? People begin focusing on the present, on moments, on experiences, because the future is no longer guaranteed to belong to you. Meanwhile, scientists continue searching for answers. They study the brain, consciousness, quantum theories, anything that might explain how identity can move between bodies. But the truth remains unclear. The mechanism behind the swaps is unknown, uncontrollable, unpredictable, and perhaps most importantly, permanent. Because after years of observation, one thing becomes certain. This is not a temporary event. Humanity has changed. Forever. The body is no longer fixed. Identity is no longer stable. Life is no longer linear. And as generations grow up in this new reality, something profound happens. Children born into this world do not fear it. They accept it. To them, the idea of living in only one body for an entire lifetime seems strange. Limited. They see identity differently, not as something tied to appearance, but as something fluid, something that moves, something that experiences many forms. Humanity begins evolving not physically, but philosophically, and in that evolution, one final question emerges. If you can live as anyone, in any body, at any time, then what does it truly mean to be yourself? Because when everything external can change, the only thing that defines you is what remains the same inside.